Hi, nobodies. So today was a good day, as always. They seem to be. I mean, there's always hiccups here and there, but I've found that for the most part, I can handle those pretty well if I keep a positive outlook for the rest of the day. It makes it easier. Um, so I got a little down earlier today, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna write letters. You know, these. I don't know if it's therapeutic or not, but I like it. Um, I will write letters to people that I'm never going to send it to them. Basically just tell them everything. Now, today, it was my mom and dad. I mean, it was two very different letters, um, given how I felt about them. Um, but I feel good. Um, Another one was to a friend, and that felt good to just put everything down, to just say here's what I think, you know and being like completely bluntly honest about it, because you can be blunt and honest to people to their face, but it's truth hurts. It really does. If you give somebody like the blunt truth, you have to pussyfoot around, especially if you're dealing with somebody who's easily offended or easily hurt, or the particular thing you want to talk to them about and talk about is particularly touchy. uh, that can be difficult. So you can't just come right out and say, to that person. And I learned this from my mother. There's so much I always wanted to say to her face, but I would just, nope, can't do it. If she'd come in screaming and yelling at me about something, call me names and everything, and I would just sit there and take it because I knew that if I said anything back, I would have to apologize. And I didn't want to have to apologize for being honest with her. So I would just let her say what she wanted to say, and then when she'd leave, I just bitch to myself about how much I hated her or how much she pissed me off, or I'd say, "Oh yeah, like you're such a good fucking mom." you know, I'm better than you. But that's, so today I wrote her a letter since she's dead. Both of my parents are dead. And I wrote her a letter that I'm pretty proud of. I know if she is looking up at me, she is probably really pissed about the poetry I've written about her. Um, yeah, she's probably really pissed about that. She's probably going, "It's all lies. I was a wonderful mother. I was the best mother that ever lived." That's probably how she saw herself. Um, and for the longest amount of years, I've felt like I was so much different than her. And you know, I think that she genuinely wanted everybody to like her. And I think she tried really hard for that to happen, to make friends and stuff. And these people that she called friends didn't come see her when she died. They didn't want to say goodbye. Her own son didn't come and say goodbye. Uh, and so I asked her. I said, "Were you pissed at him for not being there, or did he get a pass again?" Because siblings, you always feel like your sibling gets a pass. I always felt like my brother got a pass from my mom uh, on just about anything. Because if I did it, I was the devil, you know. But if my brother did it, it was always like, "Oh, okay." It's what? Why can he do this and I can't? So I think there was a few times that I did something and he took the blame for it because he would get a pass. Now he didn't get such a pass from dad. I didn't really see, but I'm sure that dad had his own little tete-a-tete with him. But so I asked my mom if hell was hot or cold. Like, she's gonna answer. I really don't want her to answer me because and I thanked her for dying, because that was a huge weight off my shoulders. And if you really knew my mom, you would understand that she would completely get that it's all about what I want. She would say, yeah, because that's how she was. It was, when my dad died, she cried, but I think she cried because her servant died. She had him doing everything. I don't think she was hurt. I think she was upset that she was losing staff. I don't think it was about him at all. So, like I said, she would totally get how her death was a good thing for me. Now, she wouldn't admit to getting it, because she would have said, "You're just a horrible child, and I can't believe I raised you." And I'll say, "Hey, you died alone. I'm the horrible child that was there." And even I had to go to therapy that day. So she died while I was in therapy. But I showed up. Whereas her friends didn't. Her son didn't. That's how far you went. I am working on myself to have friends that would show up. And I'm pretty darn certain that my kids would show up. So the letter to my dad was completely different. Because whereas my mom was a nuisance and somebody I had to walk on eggshells around, I had to watch what I said because she'd take it the wrong way. She'd hear me saying stuff when I wouldn't say a word, and everything was an offense. So my letter to my dad was different because I think dad would be in heaven because he was a really good person. I mean, now granted, I did see him do something really horrible once. It was really horrible. But I know why he did it, and it kind of had to be done. I'm not going to say what it was. It wasn't anything like that would get you put in hell. It was just something that I wish I wouldn't have seen happen. But, my letter to him was just different. It was kind of like, do you like my house, Dad? I know you're not happy with my choices, but, if you were here, you'd be in my corner, because that was something I could depend on my dad for. Now, he wasn't going to bail you out of jail. You didn't call my dad for that, because he'd say, you got yourself in trouble, you get yourself out, but, and I never had to test that theory. My brother managed to get arrested once. Dad did not bail him out. Mom did. Against his advice, because he said he got in trouble. Nothing major. Little drunk and disorderly, I think. I don't even think he ended up getting charged. I think they just kind of held him until he got bail or sobered up. I'm not entirely sure. Never really asked him. But my letter to Dad was just different, that I miss him. And in my dreams, when I dream about him, she's always there too. And I'm always like, why didn't you stay dead? Why did you have to come back? Go stay dead. And I never quite get the relevance of it. I never quite see that Dad's here. I want to talk to Dad. You know? Excuse me. It's about the same way with cats, too. You know, I'll see Fergus or Elvis or something, and I'll say, hey, you know, and not even realize, you know, not like really look at them. So, but today's a good day. I mean, don't let the tears fool you. I had just a little bit residual there. Human. See, it's possible I can cry. I know that if there is a heaven, he sees me. And I know he's rooting for me. And everybody else. Oh, God, I hate crying. It's like, you know, you just want to say, stop. Where's a kitten? Even a kitten wouldn't stop what I already spilled over. Excuse me. Yeah, I try to keep it together, but it spills over every once in a while. And you know what? I'd much rather have a couple of tears than anxiety. Which is another way that things can spill over. So tears are so much better than anxiety. I just don't like to cry. At least, especially in front of people. And even though nobody watches these really, I still feel bad for crying on camera. Now I got the snots. It's a lovely thing. So anyway, I would highly recommend letter writing, you know, and if you don't, I got it locked on my phone, you know, where only I can look at the letters. But, you know, if you have to write it out and then you burn that sucker, because the thing is, you don't want I don't know if it's a bad thing to let people read those, but I don't think it'll do you much good to hand it to that person, because in a lot of its situations, you end up looking like the bad guy, and you shouldn't look like the bad guy when you're the victim or you're just mad. You shouldn't look like the bad guy. You should look like, hey, this really upset me. Please apologize to me. You know, that's kind of what you're wanting is for them to say, I'm sorry I hurt you. But instead, you know, they don't do that because you never say anything, you know, because you want to be polite or don't want to cause any waves. So I write the stuff down and lock it away. At least it's out of me. I mean, I can't give that letter to my mom. At least not until I die. What was it? I saw a meme and said, I'm going to hell on a full scholarship. I don't know if I will or if I won't, but I know that I don't have as many sins on me as she had. Just from the things I can think in my head. Of course, then again, she might have got a pass because she was mental. Maybe they give mental passes in heaven and say, you're not going to hell. We know you're messed up. It's not your fault. You know, this was not accounted for. Maybe everybody gets in. Maybe there is no hell. But at any rate, I can't hand the letter to her. And if there is a God, please don't put my soul anywhere near hers. If I'm in hell, I want to be in a different part of hell. If I'm in heaven, I want to be in a different part of heaven. I don't ever want to talk to that soul again. That's how much I don't want, you know, and if they say, well, you can't be in heaven, fine, I'll suffer in hell. Give me hell. Because either way, it's going to be hell. Because she's going to hound me. Because that's what she did in life. That's what she'd do in death. So, anyway, I better go now. I've said enough and said nothing. So, I hope that you had a good day. If you got a grievance with somebody, write it down, burn it up, tear it up, eat it, whatever makes you feel good about it. Or if you're feeling particularly spiteful, hand it to them, mail it. But just know that the second it's in the mailbox, you can't take it back. So rethink that. Bounce it off some people before you do it. So nothing bad happens. So I hope that you have a good evening and a good night.